Hi! I just want to quickly show you how to start with product photography on a budget. For this you need a light, a camera, some kind of background, a diffuser and reflector, and of course the product you want to shoot. As a light, I will use a light bulb with 5000 Kelvin, which cost me about 10 bucks. I use artificial light instead of daylight because it gives me the ability to control light, which is quite handy for an amateur like me, since you can rule out one variable, the change of light. But of course, if you use daylight, you will get amazing results and it is free of charge. As a camera, I will use my 2.5 years old smartphone, the Samsung Galaxy S9. And since nowadays almost everyone has a smartphone with a camera, I will calculate the camera as $0. For the background, I bought a large piece of black cardboard for about $2. These items will be my diffusers and reflectors. Every household should have pieces of white paper and paper towels, but if not, I calculate this with $1. And last but not least, the product you want to shoot. Choose anything of your liking within your reach and possession. For today's purpose, I will take some photos of my father's old Canon camera. Not sponsored. In total, I spent about 13 bucks. Depending on the area you live and items you already have in your household, you might spend even less or no money at all. Now the setup of my photo studio. Everything will take place on my desk. The black cardboard I taped to my monitor and left the other end loose. According to several YouTube videos, this curve in the cardboard will give the impression of infinite space. Since I want to shoot in a controlled environment with one artificial light source, I lowered the curtains. Since my light bulb is too bright, I use paper towels to diffuse the light. Depending on how bright or diffused you need the light to be, you can vary between different layers of paper towels. For the smartphone setup, I recommend to shoot in RAW, if your phone supports it. RAW gives you the ability to edit more details in post. Regarding the definition of what is RAW, I will leave a link below to Peter Mckinnon's video. Right now I can't explain it in my own words, I'm still an amateur. Second adjustment you should make on your smartphone is to shoot in manual mode, if possible. Some phones, like my Samsung S9, call this Pro mode. This will give you the ability to control the shutter speed, aperture and ISO. If you don't know what these words mean, links below to great explanation videos. I can't explain it yet in my own words, good enough for you to understand, but perhaps in the future when I get better in photography and YouTube in general. Now, since everything is set up, we can start to shoot our product. That means it is time for trial and error, learning by doing. Place your product in the center of the cardboard. For the light, you can choose any location you want at first. Since we only use one light, this gives us the opportunity to play around with different light locations, angles and distances and see how these variables will impact your photo. After the placement of the light, you can start taking photos. In case you shoot with a low shutter speed, use the desk to stabilize your phone. After taking photos with different positions of light, you will get a feeling for the light and how light can impact your results. Also, you can use the piece of white paper to bounce light to the product if you want. Of course, if you have a bigger budget or better equipment available, you could use a mirrorless camera with different lenses and a tripod for better results and more convenience. A softbox for the light would also be handy. I, for example, use a DIY softbox and an LED light to have a little bit more convenience. After the photo shoot, you can edit your photos in post, for example in Lightroom, to your liking. And that's how you get started with product photography, by learning by doing. Try different products and play around with post editing and enjoy what you created today. I hope this was helpful to get you started and test out the equipment you already have. Of course, you can get even better results by using more accessories and textures, but I'm not on that level yet and need to practice more. But perhaps in a future video. I am still at the very beginning regarding photography and video and want to share my experience as an amateur and the topics I learned to you guys on this channel. If you're still here until the end, thank you very much. Gam Augen, vielleicht bis zum nächsten Mal and ciao.